What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to the Tuffy Talk live show. We are here and we are sitting here 1-0, baby. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Now, we'll definitely get into it here. You got myself, Lane Smith, and Greg Legg here. Excited to be talking about this game. A lot to talk about for sure. A lot of good, some bad too, for sure as well. Definitely, even though Greg, and I do have to apologize, as I do not have it sitting here ready for me. There's going to be a good amount of good grinding my gears today. That's for daggone sure. As I still just have not been able to get our StreamYard fully set up, especially with the Labor Day holiday, but also too as well. Happy Labor Day to everybody as well. Hope everybody's enjoying the weekend with their families and So, but anyway, Greg. So first of all, Greg, how was your Labor Day weekend, man? I mean, obviously you had a long week within itself, getting ready for the tailgate, man. But you had some beautiful weather to enjoy on Thursday. So I mean, kind of give me the synopsis, man. How did everything go? It was the food a 10 out of 10?
Yeah, I would say the food was on point. It took us a little bit to get in gear. The first time back out there, and well, we had a couple baseball tailgates, but baseball tailgates aren't the same as football tailgates as far as the scale. But yeah, just had to find our groove. And then once we got there, we were just rocking and rolling, putting out some good grub, and just good seeing what we call our fall family, and just kind of getting back into that life. But yeah, it was good. How about your guys' tailgate?
It was beautiful, man. I'm telling you, we're so used to, I feel like as NC State, and again, because we talked about this last week, we're so used to as NC State fans, the first game just sweating like there's no tomorrow. Yeah. But I mean, it was gorgeous, man. So pretty. And also too as well. I mean, I loved having it honestly on Thursday, so that way my family and I could go down to the beach Friday morning, go enjoy the weekend, and just watch a ton of college football with no stress in the world, knowing that you want to know. So, but so it was good, man. We'll definitely talk a little bit more about the game here and specifically, but I'm telling you though, Greg, and again, I don't know if I'm sure you probably have it on here in the background, but this daggone Carolina game, man. Oh my goodness. It's just, we could play 10, what really grinds my gears in a row, and still not going to actually describe just like all the pageantry, like College Game Day basically being there when he's won absolutely nothing.
It's definitely nauseating.
It's so nauseating, man.
Well,
and did you catch in the Eric Church? Did you catch in the Eric Church commercial where he said UNC has been a basketball school, but now they can add football to the list. So
the App State grad is saying that they can add football to the list
now, not during Mac Brown's time. Yeah. During Mac Brown's time, football was not in it.
Who has actually won a college championship?
Yes. Yeah. Now, I mean, not good with talk. Carolina, but again, now that Mac Brown's not there, we ain't gonna bring that up as much now. So, anyway,
I'm sorry. I got my phone was on. I had some music playing before we got started, and I just got an Apple TV alert. It says live now, Bill Belichick's debut. Like even Apple TV is telling me I need to go tune in on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Yep. No, I'm telling you, I am hoping. I was even borderline thinking, Greg, about ordering some TCU stuff from Amazon. I'm just like, please, TCU, please. Somehow.
I know, just shut it down before it even gets started.
Of course, it's not looking too great so far. Carolina's first and goal, but hey, it's a long game ahead here. So but also though too, so it's jumping back to it. So obviously there was some changes for sure at Carter Finley this year. I mean, first the biggest one for sure. Greg, did you happen to get any Chick-fil-A sandwiches in the Carter Finley this year, man?
Nope, didn't need to because I was full on all my good tailgate food. I didn't need to go spend $10 on a Chick-fil-A sandwich that was cooked 4 hours earlier.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah.
I do like Chick-fil-A though. This is not a anti Chick-fil-A response. I just didn't need to hit it.
Yep.
No, I know. I was going to say everything that pretty much happened in the stadium was over on your side of the stadium with the Raleighwood beer garden update. Yep. I didn't make it over there, and then they used to have a merchandise tent on our side, but that is now gone, and they've moved over to those like storage containers. I need you to focus. I need you to focus.
Randy Moss there. Like, why is Randy there?
Well,
But
did you see like the guest list that was going to be there in attendance? Like, it's just
yeah. Well, but again, I get MJ, I get Lawrence Taylor, but why Randy Moss?
Well, he played for Belichick
Anyway,
for 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not. Randy's been busy. He was out in Colorado seeing Georgia Tech beat
no
him.
kidding. I'm sorry. I'm back focused now.
No, look. This is Labor Day. We're not even supposed to be working, and you called this, so I need you focused.
I know, dude. I know.
No, so I didn't make it over to see any of the new stuff over there on your side of the. I got a sneak peek of it for Meet the Pack Day, but obviously it wasn't open. Now I did see something that was pretty cool that I wish I had gotten my hands on. Apparently they had a limited edition pin that said opening game, and it had ECU and NC State on the pin. That'd have been kind of cool to pick up, just for the shelf over here. But
sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make it over there and see what they've done.
Yeah. No, I did a little video of it on our Twitter, but it's really nice. It's just it's very love the atmosphere, love the vibe. The TVs with the actual live stream, not delayed, which is super nice, especially just being so close to the stadium that you don't want to be in a case scenario where there's even a second delay where you hear a cheer and then you're like, what? And,
or you hear the fireworks and then you turn around and then you actually see the play.
Right, exactly. Yeah, no, don't need that. So but and then the food trucks and just all the tables and places to sit. It's a great area for sure. Definitely love what they did with it. Now, I mean, I've definitely heard they've definitely spent a good amount of money on that in terms of helping with the fan experience, which I mean, hey, listen,
they should
exactly 100%, trying to keep fans inside the stadium, because that's one of the things I also say as well, Greg, is that I was actually very surprised and happy that it seemed like at the start of third quarter that, I mean, you were almost back to full capacity as it was, from the opening kickoff pretty early in that third quarter there for sure. So it definitely didn't seem like there was as many people that maybe took, the full trek out, or maybe made sure that they got back in the stadium in time. So, and for me, that's really all that it comes down to, because that's always been our biggest concern or issue has been.
Well, it's definitely been Coach Doran's biggest concern.
Amen. No, absolutely.
Especially, if you listen to any of his post game or conference or press conference today, he specifically mentioned that, hey, he was impressed with the turnout after the third quarter, and that, big win with the recruits there, and all those things matter.
Absolutely. No, they 100% matter.
Not as much as the results on the field, but they definitely matter.
No, definitely not. So, and I totally forgot to even add in there as well, but make sure if you're tuning in with us right now, make sure get some questions in the comments here, get some thoughts in the comments for the game. What are some of the things that really stood out to you about the game? So the highs, the lows. What are your thoughts about the team moving forward? Did this game make you feel better about the team, worse about the team, about the same? So, Greg, where do you kind of want to start with this game in particular? What's kind of at the top of your head right now, since I'm usually the one kind of dictating the show?
I think we should give definitely some shout outs to the defense. I thought they performed probably because I felt like that was always the question mark coming into this season. We kind of knew what the offense was going to feel and look like, though there were, new guy in charge at the OC with Roper, but you had all those pieces coming back. And so we brought in a lot of transfer guys, especially along the defensive line front, some guys on the back end. The linebackers were pretty much turned over, even though you had Caden Fordham come back from injury. And you didn't know how that was going to play out. And I thought for the first quarter and a half, they looked really good. And I'm sure we'll talk about the touchdown on the busted substitutions, I guess we'll call it. And that wasn't even their fault, though we did miss a tackle that, we could have probably, they would have gotten the completion, but I don't think they would have got the yak so much after that. But big fourth down stand in the fourth quarter to kind of seal the game. And so I thought, they gave up some explosives, but I felt for the most part it was a bend, don't break type defense. Did a really good job on fourth down, stopping them, I think, 3 or 4 times. So, that's kind of where my headspace was.
Yeah, well, because I mean that's one of the biggest things, and let us know what you think about the defense in the comments, because I've definitely have heard mostly positive for sure, but definitely some concern saying, "Well, Leighton, how can you say that the defense played really well when they gave up 383 yards of for passing, 383 passing yards?" Uh, and to which I say to that, well, I feel like it's very tough in the game of football, especially because like even my wife Ashlyn, after I think it was probably yesterday, we were talking about the game, and she brought the same thing, being like, "Yeah, they were just like throwing all over us." And I said, "Well, listen, like going into that game, and we talked about this last week, was saying we got to stop the run. We got to keep, Hauser, keep him in the pocket, make him force him to beat us with his arm, and just because he was so unproven there." Now I'll give Hauser all the credit in the world, saying, "You know what? Okay, hey, you know what? He's solid. I'll give him that. I'll give him that for sure." But just like you said, at the end of the day, we we made our bed. We said we are going to stop the run. Period. We're going to stop the run, and we're going to bend but not break. And we saw that with 3 turnover on downs that the defense forced. So yeah, even though we didn't recover fumble, even though we didn't get an interception, 3 turnover on downs. But then that is a turnover on downs. So in my book, I'm still putting that as 3 turnovers. Period. Just like as if a defense had 3 interceptions, 3 fumbles. Same thing. It really is. That's how I kind of look at it in my head. But yeah. So I mean, Greg. So giving up 383 yards passing, how much of a concern is that for you in terms of this defense?
Yeah, I feel like you can't just gloss over it. I mean they got those yards, but again, like I said, they got a 79-yard touchdown on one of those. You make a stop, and then that doesn't happen. And then I don't know what the yardage was on one of them, but the one where I thought that they should have overturned the catch. I think that was a fairly good chunk of play. That was right before they scored. I was trying to find it on the all plays here, but I just haven't found it. Yeah, I also thought that we did a nice job into forcing some throws too that they didn't complete. So with the good comes the bad, and vice versa. You mentioned it. They only ran for 30 yards after gashing us for over 300 last year. So we definitely made it a priority to stop the run. And again, it doesn't matter if it's 300 yards, because at the end of it, I think it was 365 yards total offense. Let me just see here.
It's 413. 413.
Yeah, 413. But again, they only had 30 of that running.
Yeah.
So you got to find your yards some way.
Correct. And keep in mind, they had 29 carries and got 30 yards out of it for rushing. So only averaged a yard per carry.
Exactly a yard.
Which is great. So yeah, no, I mean, really for defense, I don't really have as much concerns. Only thing is, I mean, some issues, with the passing, but also as well. And I mean, and we've been hearing it as well. Whether you listen to Pack Pride, Inside Pack Sports, Woodpecker, you name it, that going into this game, ECU was going to have 2 solid, if not definitely near the top end wide receivers, and Anthony Smith, and then the transfer from Penn State. Yeah. And they got their money this past weekend. And I mean, and even to the point where even Coach Dorn in his post game admitted that we had to keep an eye on Anthony Smith at any time because we need to make sure he didn't beat us deep. But also again, Hauser was making some great passes. So I mean, I gotta give the flowers where flowers are due. You played well. So
here's the other thing to think about too. They were down 24-7. Like they had to throw the ball. So
they had to.
Yeah. That will accumulate some yards. And
now, I think also too though, let's jump because after this we'll jump into the busted coverage because I want to make a point there as well. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we may not have been as aggressive as we maybe could have been, because I know they got a lot of yards there late in the third and into the fourth as a whole. But again, like I said earlier, it just felt like a bend don't break type of defense, especially in the latter parts of the game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and Tony Gibson, that's where he was famous for. He wasn't famous for, forcing less than 200 or 300 yards. He was famous for limiting points, shutting you down in the red zone. And so I don't know. Just I'm just saying. Well, if we were okay with it under Gibson, we should be okay with it. With this new staff as well, right? And because at the end of the day, the points on the board is what matters the most. You could have 600-700 yards of offense if you want to.
Yep.
Then, Dave, if you're only giving 17 points on the board, then sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Now, is that more than likely that an offense would be able to have that much offense and not have that many points? Sure, I get it. But
is it sustainable? That's the big question.
Exactly. So, but also too as well. And so kind of 2 points here. One, the touchdown before the end of the half. Yeah, I mean, obviously frustration there. The biggest thing that I just hope of is a learning point. Also too as well, a little bit of disappointment in the coaching staff, a little bit being that they are the experienced ones saying, listen, like they've already shown to us they're going to go fast on you. And so we got to be able to anticipate that, and not put our defense in the position to get burned like that. And at the end of the day, worst comes to worst, Coach Doran, if you get caught, call that timeout. You have the timeouts there for a reason. You can't take them home with you and and trade them in for money later. Once if you don't use them, you lose them. So go ahead and burn it. So that was just kind of my frustration there with that play. So, but I mean, so really, if you really look at it, I truly say the defense actually 11 on 11, full on gave up 10 points. I'm not really going to count that touchdown as much against them as I would other plays because of the fact that it was a blown situation, if you want to call it that.
And again, if they call that, if they overturn that reception into an incomplete, that touchdown probably doesn't happen either. And again, I thought that the refs, again, I hate putting crap on them, but I felt like there was definitely some things that were very questionable, even including the Noah Rogers hold in the red zone. I thought that was kind of egregious. I thought that was pretty bad. The non-targeting call, I thought that was bad. And we'll probably get into that maybe a little bit.
I'm queuing it right now. Don't you worry.
I know, because I figured this is where you're going to go with maybe being quote unquote conservative.
So bad.
Yeah. I don't know what we're doing there.
Nope. I don't know.
And I thought I thought it was a personal foul. So I always thought that you could take away the targeting, but the personal foul would stand. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe I don't understand that rule correctly.
So that went away. So it used to be that way where the 15-yard penalty would stand. But then basically a lot of people, and rightfully so, would say, well, wait, if it's not targeting, then why am I getting penalized at all? So
that makes sense.
So
I missed that one. But regardless, I thought that should have been upheld. So at the end of the day, it's like, what are we doing as referees? I just thought and all those came from the replay booth, and so really who screwed us was Charlotte on all of that. I know it was an AAC refereeing crew, but then it was ACC review booth. Crew. Yeah. The only thing that I was really mad about was probably the hold. But we had to clean that stuff up. There was a lot of stuff that we were just a lot of self-induced where we do something right here or there. We're not having to scramble on that last drive to hold them to seal a victory.
Yep. So, Mr. Greg, let's get into it here because I'll admit that this video of this targeting play has been just going nonstop right here on my screen. So I'm like, all right, let's talk about it so I can get off my screen because every single time I watch it, I'm like, I am just so because let me give a little bit of backstory. So keep in mind, so basically this play is heading into the end zone towards Lenovo Center. I am on the near the student section on the visitor team side. So
I'm closer to this.
So I fully preface this by saying I am not in the best viewpoint for this, but two things I saw that in my opinion should have easily made this targeting. And then once we talk about it, I'll pull it up. One, a clear defenseless player, completely defenseless.
Yeah, that was the easy part.
In the air, that is easy defenseless. Second thing I saw was Terrell Anderson snap his head back. I saw a guy go through, and I saw Terrell Anderson snap his head back. I said, okay, that's targeting. See you later. And I start getting into it. All these ECU fans around me because they are losing and saying, "What? How is that targeting? Like what? Like he's pitting with his shoulder." And which I start laughing like, "Well, you don't know the rule because I'll read you here. Article 4. No player shall
Article
target
4.
and make forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless opponent with the helmet, forearm, hand, fist, elbow, or
Shoulder pad.
shoulder pad. Yep. So let's watch this in replay here, shall we? So
blow it up so I can kind of.
Yeah. Here, I'll make it bigger.
Yeah, of course.
Make it bigger here. So if you're listening to us right now, I apologize. This is definitely going to benefit the people on YouTube here a little bit better.
I just don't see where it's shoulder to shoulder, because that's the only thing it can be, is shoulder to shoulder.
Right. Yep. Which, because here's my thing at the end of the day. There's a clear difference between having an issue with how the penalty has been called and how it's being called here. Like, at the end of the day, yes, if I've never seen this, I can raise an issue saying, well, what is like the options that ECU player has is very limited at this point. I get that for sure. But at the end of the day, the precedent has been set, and they have been always very conservative when it comes to protecting the player. And so in a situation like this, where a guy's running full speed and going with his shoulder towards the head and neck area on a defenseless player, to me, this is just it's black and white compared to every other call that they've called targeting before. So I get the ECU fans' perspective of like, well, what is he supposed to do? I get that. But at the end of the day, they've called it that way a million times over and over again. Why is this not like just black and white? Yep, targeting.
I just don't,
on
this, I just don't see where he gets. I mean, maybe he gets more shoulder pad than neck, but I don't like, there's not a discretion there. Like, if you get neck, like, it's a penalty. Like, it doesn't matter if you get 75% shoulder and 25% neck. It just it looks like targeting again. Yep. I know it's bang bang, but here's the thing: you called it targeting live.
2 refs through the flags. 2 refs through the flag.
Well, just because 2 refs, here I am. I'll go real quick on that. Anytime, it's so funny when one ref throws the flag, then you'll see 3 more come in, because they don't all like want to be like, oh, no, I saw it too. Flag. So I don't take as much stock into that, but
sure.
Again, it looks, I don't know. Only thing I can say with that is it looks like the first flag is coming in from the guy behind. So maybe he doesn't have as a good as angle on it, but maybe I feel like he does have the better angle. I don't know. It's, for me, if you're going to call it, just stick with the call. I didn't see enough there to overturn it. Maybe they had another angle that we weren't being shown. Maybe they had a different end zone view from the backside of it. It's, I don't know. It was a big call, though.
It was a big call. No, it was a big no call for sure. And I'll be honest, I was completely shocked. I thought I thought he was done. So, but anyway, though, so obviously defense wise, the only other thing which I got to give flowers on, is 2 guys really in particular here that really
who you're going with. Yep.
I mean, if it's not, if you and I are not, if every NC State fan is not going with these 2 guys, I don't know what you're doing. But Harsh and Sloan were just absolutely incredible. Just absolutely popped. Was wreaking havoc on the run defense, on the pass defense, everything. And really, here's my thing is Brandon Cleveland, it wasn't his best game. Didn't really make as much of didn't really pop as much as usually.
But I'm not mad at that, though.
I know. I'm not mad at it either. No, I'm not mad at it, because I know that it's only gonna improve for him.
And for me, he never was able to get into a rhythm, having to sit up the first half. You sit there cold for an hour and a half. Like, it's just, this is one of those weird things.
Yep. No, but not mad, but saying hey, listen, if we're seeing this from the edge, and as Brandon Cleveland really starts to get into a rhythm, it's only going to make things better. So listen, I just really do love, especially looking at last year's defense in particular, that really Davin Van was really your only bright spot, on the defensive line. And now you got 2 solidified guys that are balling out right now, combined with other options as well, like Isaiah Shirley, like a Brandon Cleveland, Chaz Wallace, who played really well with Cleveland out. I mean, you got options there for sure. You got a lot of depth that has really risen to the top for this defensive line. So, just love that there. The fact that we're going to, have at least do pretty well in terms of getting pressure on whatever quarterback we're facing this season. So, Greg, while you speak here, I'm going to bring my man Michael here into the team as well. So, let's go, Michael.
I thought, I know we're talking.
Sorry, I was busy watching Chapel Bill.
Yeah, why are you wearing that shade of blue?
I know it's a little close there, Michael.
That's a little close, buddy. That's a little close. I'm gonna need you to put your shirt on inside out. I need you to put your shirt inside out.
Still blue.
Yeah, I know. I think of the two, I think Harsh splashed a little bit more. He had those 2.5 tackles for loss, 7 total tackles, 3 solos. But we still need to give our linebackers a lot of love. Both of them led the team, right there, 11 and 10 tackles respectively, especially for Caden Fordham. Plus, he had a sack and then another 2 tackles for loss. I thought in his first game back, he was spectacular. I think that, again, if this is sustainable, I really like with what we saw here, and that hopefully, they continue to get better as a unit. And I feel like this has been, and we haven't even talked offense yet, but I thought the defense really shined in this game.
Yep. Michael, any thoughts here about the defense here?
Yeah, I think I'm sure you guys said, I think it looked better than kind of we expected it to coming out. It's definitely more of a scheme that you see more often around college football with the different pressures and stuff. So definitely looked good for the first game. It could have been so many new pieces. It could have gone pretty bad.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm sure. I think right as I jumped on, you guys were mentioning Sloan and Harsh. I mean, those two are just like, they're going to be awesome. You could tell right away from the first snap.
And the fact that they were late portal additions too, like they weren't even our main targets, and that you're getting that kind of production from them that late. So it just goes to show that there's always dudes out there that you can go and find and potentially plug into your lineup.
Yeah. No, huge shout out to the coaching staff for sure, as they definitely definitely hit 2 gems there for sure in the transfer portal, and again, and 2 guys too that it's not like they're North Carolina guys. It's not like they were based here on the East Coast or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like it was a little bit outside of the microscope here a little bit, and they went a little bit outside, and they I won't say necessarily yet they hit gold. It's only 1 game in here, but if they play like they looked against the other 11 opponents on our schedule right now, they're definitely heading that direction for sure. So
to that point, like Sloan's from California. Like I honestly can't remember the last California kid we had. Maybe there's someone
USC?
Out there.
By Jones.
Oh, yeah.
But was he originally from California? I know he's at USC.
I think he was from Texas.
Yeah, Texas
sounds
we got
right.
a little bit.
Yeah, but still, and then Harsh is from Council Bluffs, Nebraska, which I've oddly been to. Of course, there's not a lot there. It's not far from Iowa, but again, not typically the route we go to get guys.
Yep. Now, I did want to ask you guys one question actually before we jump on over to the offense here a little bit, and I want to ask is how much kind of water this holds, but the performance of our new kicker, Nick, and I'm not even going to try and pronounce his last name. I apologize. I interpret it as Knitsky is how I kind of interpret it. Like,
it's kind of close.
Yeah, what is it actually, Greg?
Nope.
Okay, Knitsky. Is he Knitsky? So
I don't even remember what.
I haven't heard it enough.
Yeah. No, me neither. Exactly. But so Michael, I'll ask you since you just joined in here, but like 1 for 3 on field goals, does it hold water to you? Do you kind of brush this off?
I mean, it's definitely a concern. One of them, I think it was maybe the second field goal. So the first one he missed, it looked like there may have been an issue with the snap or the hold or something. So I don't know. I have to go back and look, but I think that's just one of the things. Right, we had Vincent last year he was good, but not great. But like he wasn't I don't think anybody was overly concerned about it. So I think it'll kind of work itself out, whether it's going back to Canoa or, him just getting better. If it was an issue with the snapper or the holder, kind of getting that worked out. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a concern, but I don't know. I think it's one of those things it's definitely an easier fix than other positions.
But again, and Greg, I want to hear your thoughts, but that's kind of, at least for me and for a lot of State fans out there, what we're saying is well, that guy who started for you last season, he's still on the team. He's still there. And Dorn still went with a freshman kicker who just missed two, not easy, but I think 43, 44-yard field goals, makeable and big field goals, and didn't make either of them. It's oh my gosh. So what are your thoughts on it, Greg?
Yeah, a couple of things. One, Vineset was 75% on the season last year, but he was only 50%. He was only 50% from the range that Nick missed from. So, and then Nick supposedly was 91% in camp, and I guess, it was just a gut that Dorn went with. And but if you looked at this week's depth chart, which has already been released, which is wild because they didn't release the first game depth chart until about 3 hours before kickoff. They have them both as or. So I think they're, you'll see some stuff probably in practice this week.
I feel like he may give
you got to give it a shot.
The first one.
Yeah,
sure.
And then if he misses the first one, I think it'll be after that.
I would agree.
We'll see Vineset. Yeah,
I would agree. And I think the way that this team is shaped up and the way we lost games last year, a lot of one possession games, you need to make sure your kicking game is on point, because I feel like this week we're only about a 2.5, 3 point favorite. That's a field goal. If you you're gonna need it. You're gonna need it. And and I know we're gonna probably talk about the offense being conservative, but you kick those 2 field goals, I don't feel like that offense becomes conservative at that point, because you got points, and then you're not even having to stress out that last drive. So it'll be something to watch for sure.
Yep. No, I mean, it's kind of funny. And I guess I can share this now, because I'm sure the, what's the limitations,
statute of limitations,
statute of limitations has probably hit by now. But even like my family, when, my senior year, when Kyle Bambar was there, and they'd be like, why is this guy keep playing? And I'm like, I'm telling you, in practice and in camp, he's had really no issues. He's solid. It's just once the game hits, it just is just a different beast. And again, because there's no doubt that kicking is one of the most mentally challenging positions in sports. No doubt about it. And so,
you have one job,
right?
Yeah, you have literally one job. So
it's not like a wide receiver where you catch and block, right? You just got to kick the ball. You got to just kick the ball.
That's it.
Well,
so when you miss it, everybody's saying, well, you only had one job.
Right.
So go ahead.
But it's a stressful one. Especially, again, we've talked about it in the past. If you miss a kick at the end of the game, everyone remembers that kick, but they don't remember the other 59 minutes up to that point where you could have done something to potentially put yourself into a win. What I am curious about is how much is this going to dictate play calling, right? When you get down in there, you got to, if you get a 3rd and 6, or you got to play, if you get 3rd and 6 from their 40, are you going to try to get 3 or 4 yards and then set yourself up for a short 4th down? Or are you going to go kick a field goal attempt? Those are the things that these types of things early on in the season will dictate for later on. And, again, that could be the difference of a win or a loss, because instead of trying to kick a field goal, you're going for it, and then you get stopped.
Yep. And then Michael, the 2 returners for punt return, you had Wesley Grimes, kick return. You had Duke Scott. I think Duke Scott, at least in my opinion, definitely wasn't as much of a shocker. But Wesley Grimes being punt return, I think I even actually probably predicted that a little bit, just because, putting a guy out there that you knew would just make the catch, call it fair, and move on. Which there was one punt in particular I can remember where he had plenty of space, but he still called a fair catch on it. And I remember fans all around me being like, why Why? Like,
Yeah.
run for it. And it's like, listen, man, like, I think that Dorn's kind of taken the approach a little bit of, I just don't want to beat ourselves on something like that.
Yeah.
I just want to catch it and get the offense on the field.
Right. I think first game as a punt returner, I think Grimes was probably just playing it safe a little bit. And I think on that one, if I'm thinking of the same one you are, he had to run to the right a little bit. And so he was kind of sprinting to make the catch. And yeah, he did have some room, but I think in probably just the effort he had to put in to get over there, he was like, I'll just call the fair catch, which it's fine. Fine with me.
Yep. Well, and again, we'll definitely move to offense now, but with especially how productive this offense should be is like, we're okay with not taking any unnecessary risks, especially putting a guy like Wesley Grimes in injury situation. Go ahead, Greg.
Yeah, I'm curious that and we'll talk about him more when we talk about the offense, but Teddy Hoffman, like I could see a scenario where they might put him back there at punt return. Now that they're kind of getting him, but again, depends on the.
Or am I misremembering that?
I thought he was back there for one, but
I think he had one. I think again he called a fair catch and just caught it.
Yeah,
but I think he was back there for one.
Yeah, I felt like he was too, but again, I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But again, depending on the approach they take with him, like are they going to burn his red shirt or
I think so.
I think he's gonna play a full year. Yeah, I agree. I think he's definitely got a spot in the rotation.
Right.
Yeah. Well, let the record show. I actually mentioned him like 3 weeks ago, as someone that as a breakout player.
Yeah.
But I didn't see that week one, and I'll turn it back over to you, Leighton, to talk more about the offense.
Yeah, let's switch on over to the offensive side here. Is definitely some bright spots, definitely some concerns for sure.
I wonder where your concern is.
Yeah, right. Well. Besides the play calling,
I don't think the play calling was bad.
All right, we'll get there. There. Yeah, no, not overall. I don't have an overall concern.
Michael and I are team pro play calling.
Yeah. And overall, again, I don't really have much issue at all. But again, we'll get there. But the one thing, first of all, I want to shout out, definitely. I'm assuming since I haven't actually seen the actual depth chart itself, but I've seen notes on it. I'm assuming Noah Rogers is on there right now.
He's cleared. Yeah, he's been cleared.
Yeah, they said
he's been cleared.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Did not expect that. That's great.
Right before. Yeah.
That's great news. All right, great. So, because I was going to say, first of all, just thoughts and prayers for Noah for sure. That guy was out for a second. That was scary.
Yeah, that one was rough. And by the way, for a minute there, I thought it was Noah Grimes. Not Noah Grimes. My goodness, Wesley Grimes.
Yep.
Those numbers are just hard to tell. Like I
thought it was too. Yeah, the 5 and the 6 looked.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was those jerseys or the way they were wearing them, but yeah.
Yeah, I said Noah Grimes. He's a hybrid player.
Yeah.
I thought it was Grimes there for a minute. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No, so just was going to throw that out there, but now that he's been cleared, that's awesome. Great news for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But let's start off with some positive here a little bit. First thing I love, and honestly, like, because one of the concerns you can immediately say is that you felt like maybe Jolie should have been more involved with how highly rated he is for sure. Yeah. But I mean, like the depth that we have was definitely on full display for sure in terms of the pass catchers, especially with the breakout of Hoffman as well. I mean, I think you're going into the rest of the season really feeling really, really good now about your 5 wide receivers and Hoffman, Keenan Jackson, Terrell Anderson, Wesley Grimes, and Noah Rogers, and you still got Justin Jolie on top of it, and the Elon transfer tight end as well that he didn't even really get involved. But I still think that, if called upon, he can be a solid playmaker for us as well. So, I mean, we could talk about that. So here, let's just talk about them first in particular. So, Michael, thoughts about receivers? Obviously, I think probably Wesley Grimes or Hoffman is probably going to be the headline there, probably for 2 different reasons. What would you kind of pinpoint?
Yeah, I think Grimes best overall. Like he was phenomenal. I think he had 120 something 121 yards. I mean, his speed is crazy. He had that, the touchdown, and then another one that was kind of a contested catch, kind of right down the middle of the field. He's I think he's going to end up being our number 1 receiver at the end of the year. At least, 1 game sample size, of course, but he definitely looked the part.
Yeah.
Yeah, Greg, would you go a different direction, or would you agree the headlines on Grimes?
Yeah, I mean, if I just want to play devil's advocate, you could say Teddy Hoffman, because no one had him on their bingo card of having almost 100 yards, and then having, what was it, 3 or 4 plays straight go to him. No prop bet had Teddy Hoffman listed.
No.
But I think, to Michael's point, I definitely think that Wesley Grimes feels like he's like stepped up from last year, because I thought we kind of like, not that he underperformed, but like he just was kind of there. Like he didn't feel like he was elevated. And I felt like he took it on his shoulders, and he's like, Noah, either one of us could be the number one. Maybe I'll be number one this week. Maybe you'll be number one, in a couple of weeks. Like they're that good where you could say they're a 1-1 alpha. And then of course you have Teddy Hoffman, Terrell Anderson, Keenan Jackson, they had 8 catches between the 3 of them. And so I thought that CJ did a really nice job spreading the ball around, and that he had enough time. I know we're going to talk about the offensive line, but I thought the offensive line in past situations did a really nice job of letting CJ look over the field and find his guy. You had 2, 4, 6, 7 different guys catch a pass. That's really good. That's really good.
Yeah. No. Now, I mean, kind of to the other point though that I had said as well, is that being once again that going into season, I think we all could agree that Jolie is definitely the focal point. Are you? Do you have much concern of that? Especially from a verticality perspective. You didn't you saw him more as kind of a dump off, when he did have his 5 catches this game, and not really a break it open down the middle. Like, do you think that just kind of a little bit of game plan? What are y'all's thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think just being a tight end, like he is like a number 1 option, but he still plays tight end, and like it's hard to kind of deep. And he did have, there was one play, I think it ended up being roughing the passer, so it didn't count. But like Bailey hit him in the hands, kind of right down the seam, and he dropped it. I mean, it was a contested catch; it would have been a great catch, but it was still like that was a play. I think that Bailey was looking for him. I think you kind of mentioned it earlier though, looking for him in the red zone more. Like once we get in the red zone, there should just be a play that you just throw it up to Jolie and see what happens. I mean, worst case, you get an interception in the end zone,
Yeah.
Well,
I also feel.
Yeah.
I was I also feel that teams are going to be game planning against Jolie a lot more, knowing how good he is. They're not going to let him be that guy. And so again, it's like, okay, can we be creative to get him in like separation and space, get him good, mismatches that we can take advantage of it. So for a first game, the catches were there. I thought 5 catches is a good number for him. It was the yards that maybe
only
people would like to see more. Yeah. People, I think, I again, 5 catches is good for me for a tight end. You probably want to see that number, like you said, 27 yards. You probably want to see it around 40, 45, maybe with a touchdown in there. But he was definitely praised for his run blocking. Dave was talking about his run blocking being a lot better. So maybe things like that will pay off as we get down into the season.
Yeah. Well, one play in particular, though, I wanted to point out, speaking of the red zone there, Michael, as well, that I got really excited about because I saw it coming too. The Noah Rogers attempt at the fade pass. I was looking my chops, being like, "Oh, this is the Noah Rogers play right here." Like what is Noah Rogers good at? What in my opinion should he be good at? That right there, the verticality, the quickness to him, the agility, like. Throw the ball up and go get it. Now, it wasn't the best ball, a little bit beyond a reach where he had to kind of chase after it instead of go up and get it. So, but I definitely don't think that'll be the last time they run that play and try and get Noah Rogers the ball one-on-one. So, excited for that to come back up again.
It looked like they could have called a pass interference.
I was going to say the same thing, Michael.
Bit, but I mean, it wasn't the best pass, but
but he was being dragged a little bit.
Yeah.
No, I like that play. I think we talked about it. I think you can really do that with Rodgers. You can
Both
do
of
that
them.
with Jolie. You can do it with Grimes.
Grimes,
We saw
yeah.
Keenan Jackson last year get a couple of those fades in the end zone. He's a big receiver. Like, you really have options there.
Yeah, the only one that you're not running that play to is Teddy Hoffman.
Yeah, probably not.
No, probably
he's a KC size guy.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, too, though, you know, obviously, well, you know what, we're not even going to go there. You mentioned name, we're not even going to go there, Greg.
Yeah, no, I wasn't calling him KC by any means. I'm just saying stature wise.
Well, and I mean, and so, you know, I guess kind of let's jump into it here. So, CJ Bailey, you know, Michael, initial thoughts, CJ Bailey.
Yeah, I think he was really good.
Would you say that he's taken a step forward already, or would you say just as good? What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't say a huge step forward, but I think you saw him kind of. He wasn't as quick to scramble in some situations. I think he's still kind of getting a little bit of happy feet. He kind of leaves the pocket on a few plays where he didn't really need to. But I think overall it was better. We saw a lot more deep shots, whether that was called plays or him being willing to let it rip.
Let her rip.
Either way, that's great. Yeah, I don't know. He was good. He was. I wouldn't say it's like, whoa, he looks like a totally different quarterback than last year. I think it was pretty similar where he's at. But again, I think he'll continue to get better.
Yeah, I mean, Greg, 24 for 34, 318 yards passing, a touchdown, an interception, 78.5 QBR. On top of that, with 7 carries for 21 yards and a rushing touchdown. So, you know, your thoughts, Greg?
Yeah, other than the interception, that was a very bad interception. Threw it right to the guy. That was I don't know what.
So
go ahead.
On TV, like they showed the end zone view. The safety hid right behind the ref the whole time. I don't think CJ ever saw him.
No,
which
he didn't
really, you gotta know he's back there. But like, they literally showed the end zone view, and you could not see the safety.
No, he came in very last second.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if you put that so much on CJ or just a good play on by ECU. I felt like he missed a couple of throws early. That you know, he kind of put a little bit of too much air under a couple of them. We talked about you mentioned it, Michael, the deep shots, 7 deep shots. So deep shot, anything over 20 yards. He completed 4 of those. 7 attempts deeper than 20 was more than he had in any game last year. So we can circle back that around there late when we talk about play calling, because you thought we were conservative. But I thought overall, to your last point, Michael, I thought he did take 1 bad sack. You know, he kind of.
I think that was the only sack.
Yeah, that was the only sack, but that wasn't even like on the offensive line.
Yeah,
that wasn't on the offensive line. He should have either thrown it away or taken off. He tried to extend the play, but it just didn't work out. So overall, I would probably give him a solid B on the night. Maybe even probably a B is probably the right way to go. But yeah, you saw a little bit of growth. I thought that he did what we probably should have expected him to do in a game 1. It wasn't leaps and bounds better than last year, but it wasn't a regress. And I think that's what you're more or less looking for, is he didn't regress.
Yeah.
And I want to say on his run, the touchdown he scored the run on, like, I think you could tell he's got a little more bulk to him this year, because that he bounced off that last defender and it looked like he was going to go down, and he just kept running, ran through.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think he was going to make it to the end zone. I thought, man, he was going to be like probably about 4 or 5 yards short, and then somehow he got through it. I was like, oh, okay. Now we're setting off fireworks. Let's go.
Right.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah. No, definitely love it for sure, and definitely excited about him. Now, the one thing that even actually my cousin actually pointed out to me, you know, who was sitting right beside me, was, I think it was, I can't remember which pass it was in particular, but there was one pass in particular that CJ kind of sailed on it. It was a little bit over the top, and I remember my cousin in particular leaned over to me and he said, when are we going to teach CJ to stop throwing off his back foot? Leaning back, and because that's what kind of forced him to throw up. That's my only concern with him at all, is just a little bit, just like I think you mentioned as well, Michael, a little bit of happy feet, get those feet set. And because I mean, you saw it most of the night, if his feet were set, he was hitting you right in stride all day long, especially on those 2 deep shots that were gorgeous. 3 of them. So that's the only thing is just a couple of passes that were inaccurate, mostly due to just not setting the feet when he could have if he wanted to. So, but other than that, though, I mean, I really can't have much concern. Obviously, the just like you guys said, the interception was bad. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Learning lesson. Let's move forward. So, but definitely not much issue there.
I mean, 9.4 yards per attempt is pretty good.
That's really good.
That's a good number. That's a really good number.
Anytime.
Eight passes with over 20 plus air yards. That's what you want. That's what we wanted. That's what we've been begging for. Please throw the ball downfield.
Yeah. I think his best throw of the night was the one kind of rolled out to the right, took a big hit, but hit Hoffman kind of right out of the money. Yep.
And that was a good catch by Hoffman too. That was a really good catch by Hoffman too.
Yeah.
I just learned something, y'all. In the second quarter of the Carolina game, that they just made sure to let us all know that Bill Belichick has 333 regular season and playoff wins with the Patriots. Like that fucking matters at this point. Excuse my French, but
hey, it's 9 o'clock. We're good. It's after hours.
Hey, 9 o'clock. I'm just like who cares? It's a game. Who cares anyway? All right.
Right now we have an adult rating on our podcast. Thanks.
Sorry.
Thanks, jackass.
Oh, anyway. So offensive line. Honestly, the biggest thing that actually got me the most excited about the offensive line, first of all, pass protection was great for sure. Great. Really but also too, the thing that got me excited as well is the depth really showed as well. As there was, definitely some cycling of players for sure. And there wasn't, in my opinion, a huge difference one versus the other. Now, I will say that's both good and bad. And the fact that from a run blocking side, it was a lot to be desired for sure. Yeah. But I don't know, hey, you know what, Greg, since you gave out grades already for CJ, what grade would you give the offensive line from Thursday night?
Probably a C-.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Yeah. So you're that heavy with the run blocking.
Yeah. It was. I mean, the run numbers for Hollywood would be a lot worse if it wasn't for Hollywood. There was a lot of times where he got hit in the backfield and was still able to get to at least the line of scrimmage or -1 or +1. A lot of those yards that Hollywood got, he got the hard way. So I definitely thought that the offensive line could have been much better on run blocking, but conversely, like they were really good in pass and pass pro, and so that's why I'm going to give them like C-. I actually want to stay C- because of the penalties that they had, the 2 false starts back to back in the third quarter. We basically killed a drive before it even got started with 2 penalties on first down back to back. And then I think as a whole the offensive line had 3 penalties, maybe 4.
A couple.
I agree with Greg. I'd probably put a grade on it. I'd probably say a C. Just kind of average. And, the concern is kind of what we were concerned about coming into the season. It's that center and right guard spot. That was definitely kind of the weak spot. At one point they put Spike at right guard and left Jalen Granite at center. So I wonder if we see that.
And they scored a touchdown on that play.
Right. I wonder if we see that more because it's. I think. I don't know if we talked about it on here, but I think maybe on IPS they were talking about it. How 2J wants to get he obviously Souls is a center, but he'd rather go with your 5 best linemen than necessarily plugging people into position. So I could definitely see Spike kind of staying at right guard.
I think in the depth chart they're an or this week.
Yeah,
as it should. As it should. Yeah.
I'm see if I can pull that up, but I believe that's what I saw earlier today.
But definitely, I hope they change some things up a little bit, as just especially ECU's defensive line. Like listen, y'all. If we're struggling that much against ECU, come on, it was bad.
They blitzed a lot though.
To that point, ECU they were selling out to stop the run. Because Hollywood gashed them. So they were bringing extra people into the box.
Agreed. So a lot of run blitzes.
But But if Hollywood Smothers has 76 yards rushing, but 88 yards after contact,
that's what I said.
that's concerning.
No, and like I said, like a lot of
really
it was
should have
just
had,
getting back to the line.
And he really should have had like 115 because that first play
Easily.
that Rodgers got called for holding and it wasn't even holding.
Yeah,
no,
yeah. Which that was just the referee saying, "Hey, that wasn't nice." Like you bullying that guy, that is just not nice. Holding
and the other
penalty.
guy had
That's really what that was.
Rodgers face mask too. So at the worst, it should have been offsetting penalties and the play stands, and that would have been like a 35-yard run or whatever.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Yeah, it's interesting on the depth chart. Real quick, they still had Spike at second team on center, but they did have the Oars for the right guard.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. I wouldn't be surprised if kind of see Spike at right guard going forward.
Yeah.
So I think they'll probably go back to the starting lineup, starting five they had.
I think so,
and just kind of see how it plays out. But yeah,
I mean, Teague showed some nastiness. I mean, a little too much nastiness on that one penalty, but I like
as good as advertised. And then the other,
I think the left side. Yeah, I think the left side definitely played better than the right side as a whole. But that kind of makes sense because you usually put your more experienced guys on the left side anyway. At least we have a history of that. Yeah, I know we're nitpicking on a lot of this stuff, but it's after a win, so I'm okay with that. You know, and then Dave was talking in his press conference that these guys know what they need to clean up, that they were very coachable, that they own their shit. If we're gonna stop dropping cusses, I'll throw one in there. And so they came in and watched film and they know what they need to work on, and I think that's a good sign that even after a win that they know that they have things that need to be cleaned up. And and at the end of the day, I know we talk about this, like what's the positive to play in like an ECU. Honestly, I'd rather play ECU in the first game than a Western Carolina. Even though Western Carolina gave us a game last year, but typically that's not going to be the case. So at least you're playing a quote unquote quality opponent for your first game, and it gives you better tape. Now you're stepping up your competition. Thank goodness that this is Virginia game 2 and Vice Tennessee game 2 from last year. So again, I think you're slowly easing into that schedule.
Yeah, I kind of see. I would probably prefer just a different G5 team than ECU, just because.
That's a fair point. Yeah, absolutely, because you gain nothing.
Team, I think, is better than an FCS, but I think you're always going to have kind of one FCS game on the schedule most times.
That's not going away anytime soon. I think every team pretty much plays one of those a year.
You're just saying for the first game, like
I'm talking about the first game. Again. Because I don't think you get a lot playing them. As a whole, I don't think.
No.
But a lot to be positive about on the offense. I mean, we haven't even really talked about Hollywood. I mean, you kind of mentioned it a minute ago. I thought they just took him out of the game. I thought they did a really nice job of doing that. It wasn't anything Hollywood did or didn't do. I think he was close on a couple that looked like
It did look like he got a couple shoestring tackles that he could have broken off.
But that's the thing, is like, I mean, he still broke a good bit of tackles just to get that 76 yards. So he played really well for sure. For only getting 76 yards, 3.5 yards a carry and 1 touchdown, he still played really, really well to get that 76 yards, even though the stats don't show it. So,
and he gave you 4 catches for 30. So he had over 100 yards all purpose.
Yeah.
And I think you'll take that. Now, my biggest concern is, and we've kind of talked about this leading up to the season, was his amount of touches. He had 26 total touches. That's a little concerning, especially for a week 1 opponent. I think I would like to see Duke get a couple more touches, if I'm being honest. But I also know that he may or may not be dealing with something, so they might be trying to limit his touches as well.
He had one of those shoulder braces on, so they may have been kind of easing him in to the first game, so maybe we're relying heavier on Hollywood. But I agree. I think definitely need to even out those those
Yeah,
carries
yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah, even if you're throwing more, and everyone's favorite play, more bubble screens to the wide receivers, at least if you could take a couple of less hits off of Hollywood's payload, that would probably be ideal for the long haul.
Yep. Yeah. No, I mean, definitely, again, glad for the most part we didn't really suffer any significant injuries in the game. So that's a huge benefit, especially no Rodgers being clear. That's
really the biggest
huge
one. Yeah.
And also on top of that, what would you say?
Teague Anderson came out on the play he got called for a penalty on, but
ended
up coming back in. So yeah.
But also too as well. Again, I mean, you have 9 days between game 1 and game 2 to get healthy. Get some extra work. So so a lot of positives there about playing Thursday night. But
and I think that's a huge thing. Like, not to be understated, like the coaching staff probably sat around and watched the UVA Coastal game live. And I think that gave them a little bit. Yeah, we won't talk about that.
I got a lot of enjoyment out of that game. I'm not gonna lie. I got a lot of enjoyment out of it.
I know for opposite reasons, but again, watching that game, and I know we're not really doing a UVA preview. I don't know, is like UVA that much better, or is Coastal just that bad? Because Coastal beat themselves on a lot. They have a lot of miscues. So I don't know how that's going to look. I don't know if we'll do another one this week, but kind of watch the QB for UVA to see how he looks. He ended up going out of the game with a shoulder and or maybe a concussion.
Big.
But their wide receiver Ross, dude, he torched Coastal.
It was a rough day. It was a rough day for DBs for Coastal for sure.
Yeah. But it's positive. 1-0.
Yeah. 1-0, baby.
Yeah.
But you know what, y'all? With that being said, though, I want to get to 2 final topics here. First one in particular, I'll get to because I think we all agree on this one. And then we'll get to the one that it sounds like we'll definitely have a little conversation about here to wrap it up here a little bit. But again, Michael, I've already prefaced this by saying I've done a terrible job. And just for everybody who's listening and watching right now, we had to switch our StreamYard account over. And I haven't really had an opportunity to transfer everything over yet, especially with the holiday weekend stuff. But so this is a full out, it really grinds my gears. But with that being said, when I believe it was Sean Brown got injured in the 4th corner. I believe it was Sean Brown.
Oh, yeah. I know where you're going with this.
And the majority of ECU fans and the entire football team started chanting ECU, full on going crazy, while literally our player is on the field, on the ground. I don't care how major, I don't care how minor it is. I do not care. There is a line that I would surely hope for most all U.S. fan bases. And when I say that, I know in Europe, they're freaking lunatics over there. I get it. It's different over there. So I get it. But for here in the U.S., the injury is I feel like a common line where we say, you know what, we're going to hope the best for all players. We don't want players to get injured, even though we may joke about it. We surely hope that. But here's my thing: is I have come to the final conclusion that I come out of that with 2 conclusions. One, ECU wants to be our rival so bad that they are willing to say, listen, we are going to literally not just poke the bear, we are going to punch the bear in the face until it finally comes at us, just to make it clear that we want y'all to hate us. We want y'all to say, oh, Carolina, ECU, which one do I hate worse? That's literally what that was, because I just don't get it. I wanted to rip.
This may be the longest grind my gears rant in the history of Tuffy Talk.
I'm telling you, I was letting them have it. Y'all should be literally ashamed of yourselves. Like y'all should be ashamed, absolutely ashamed. And so I'm saying at this point, you are not my rival. Why? Because I don't respect you. You're not formidable, but pretty much outside of football and base, not pretty much. You are not formidable at all outside of football and baseball. You're barely formidable
wouldn't even
within
say
football and
football.
baseball. Like barely. And now, like, again, I just don't I don't like how you do things. I don't like who you are. I respect nothing about you. So you know what? You're not my rival. Like I do not care if you win or lose. You are like as Kevin O'Leary says, you are dead to me. Like you're dead to me. Anyway.
I just wanted to have a little.
That is why I wanted to
music.
get on. Holy crap!
I'm surprised you waited an hour
livid.
into the conversation to have this conversation.
Right. I don't think they really showed that on TV, but
no, they didn't.
Pretty bad.
Yeah,
pretty bad.
I saw the bench like losing it, and I didn't see like the ECU fans, but I don't remember who I saw it maybe on X or someone, maybe it have been someone that I know on Facebook. They posted a video of the fan base just hooping and hollering. I'm like, really? Like I know you all live in double wide trailers, but can you be a little less trashy? Like, is it that much?
A lot less trashy.
Is that really hard to ask for? Like, that's not a lot. Yeah, that was a little over the line for me. Yeah, it's not like it was not like they were driving and we quote unquote faked an injury. Like that was a legitimate injury, and that was, there's a line, and they definitely crossed it.
They 100% crossed it for sure. So, and I would get like, listen, if it was just a fan or two, or like, that was chanting it. All right.
Sure.
Hey, listen, every fan base has those eggs, but the fact the entire fan base and the entire football team was doing it.
Who started it? Like, was it the fans? Then the bench fed off of it.
Some of the fans started, the bench fed, the fans fed, the bench fed, and then it was just
exploded.
Yeah. But yeah, the fans started it, yes, but then the players started to go with it.
Yeah.
So anyway.
No, that was my soapbox. It was a little much.
That was my soapbox. So hey, you know what? Hey, listen, I'm just happy now that we don't have to talk about it. It's just black and white for me now. So we can just move forward and we can live our lives, and it's set in stone.
Yeah.
Y'all are dead to me.
I had a pretty quiet weekend on social media. Did anyone have show up in their feeds like yes, from the ECU side of the fan base, like, yeah, we lost, but y'all shouldn't have like beat us by more? Did anyone kind of see those kind of?
I mean, there's always those, but
but it wasn't like a predominant thing, right?
Yeah.
No,
I don't think so.
Not really.
I mean, I could care less at the end of the day whether they thought
whatever.
Because I think most ECU fans thought they were going to win, so it's like,
they showed up like they were.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they didn't really have much legs to stand on there.
And again,
pick six.
Like it was 24-7 heading into the fourth quarter. Now give ECU credit for mounting a somewhat of a comeback, but again, the game shouldn't have been as close. Like we missed 2 field goals, so there's 30 points right there. One of those field goals we got should have been a touchdown. We got some stuff called back. That targeting we already talked about. The lack of the overturn on the reception by ECU before their touchdown, which again that looked like the ball clearly touched the ground. And by the way, just separate, like, do we even know what the hell a catch is anymore in college football? There was at least 3 or 4 instances this weekend, notably in the Clemson game and in the South Carolina game. Like, holy cow. Like, we are making this reminds me of a few years ago back when Des Bryant kind of started this thing.
Famous.
Yeah.
Like, are we back to that again? Like, what the hell constitutes a catch? Because this is, for me, it's even easier in college because you only need 1 foot.
1 foot, yeah.
It should be an easier, black and white thing.
I don't know if they have. I don't remember the difference in the rules, but in college it's like you have to survive the ground. So I think in both those instances, it was like the ball moved, they caught it, had possession, 1 foot in, but then when they hit the ground, the ball moved a little bit, and it's like
But the one I think the LSU one was probably the more egregious one.
Yeah,
because he took like a step through the end zone,
right?
And I'm like. Is that not a football play?
Right. You cross the pylon, like.
But for the other, and then the opposite, I didn't think there was enough in the South Carolina game to overturn it. Like that one looked
I missed that one. I saw the LSU one. But
I was
listened to
watching it.
I know you were watching that one. That's your number 2 team.
I watched that game. I think we were out walking the dogs or something when that happened.
Yeah, but anyway.
Anyway.
Thankfully, we weren't at the bad end of that kind of stuff. It didn't come back to bite us. Anyway, I think you want to talk about conservative play calling to wrap this thing up. I knew you did.
And also too, just keep in mind that you know, if any NC State fans concerned, just know that at least you're not an Alabama or a Texas fan, because holy crap! So
14-point favorite to lose by 14 against a 2-10 team. SEC is back.
Texas, baby. You could kind of. I mean, Arch looked not great, but
no,
you can justify it. Like Ohio State.
How much money you spent?
They were on the road.
Yes, Alabama though.
Yeah, I agree.
Alabama,
yes, bad in Tuscaloosa.
It's bad. Yeah, no,
but they're only 5-5 in their last 10. Like they're
not the old
and just keep in mind that DeBoer's pay out $70 million. So,
like
some Jimbo, that's some Jimbo Fisher money.
Yeah, they can't afford to pay that.
So you said that about Texas A&M. Would they pay Jimbo 60, 65 to leave?
It's close. Yeah, it was probably close to 70.
It was close. It was close.
I think Texas A&M has more money than Alabama.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah.
All right, conservative play calling. Let's get to it. Let's wrap this baby up. Unless you have a dying comment, Greg, that you want to get in here.
No, I don't have a dying one.
Okay. All right. So let's highlight the part in particular. So fourth quarter, up by 7, and probably the 30-ish yard line, something like that. Second and third down plays, both QB draws.
Yeah.
My issue with that is two things. One is that passing wise, we've seen a lot of success in that game for sure. But also too, as well, you've also seen that your kicker just miss a field goal around that range. So that's another thing as well. Third issue, and honestly, the biggest issue I have with it is I just don't love unnecessary CJ Bailey runs. Like if it's set up beautifully for it, I get it. And if it's like the touchdown, like I get it. Like there's opportunities. It's a strength to his game. There's times where it's necessary. But I'm also sitting here saying, listen, man, we could have injuries almost every other position, but quarterback is the one that if we lost CJ, holy smokes, like buckle your seatbelt, brace for impact. So that's just my issue. Is like, okay, I would not have as big of an issue with it if Smothers ran it. But I still, at the end of the day, I still have an issue with the fact that Doran has always been known for, at least has had the saying around him as playing not to lose. And that one right there was seeming like a settling call. Like, listen, we're going to settle and allow our kicker to give us an opportunity to win the game for us. Yeah. When let's try and see if CJ Bailey, who's had much success the whole night, let's see if he can get us a first down and really put ECU in a really tough situation, and at the same time give our kicker a better opportunity to make a field goal. That's my thoughts. Now,
Michael, I'm going to let you go first, and then I'll shut this down.
Okay. So what I'll say for that that play call, I think the second down play was an RPO. So, right, I think
it was.
Bailey has the option there to hand it off to Smothers or throw the ball. And he can also keep it, and he kept it. The third down run definitely looked like more of a QB counter, like design run, which I get that. If you don't, he just ran the last one. Are you going to really, I know it was RPO, but are you going to run him again? But I don't think they were playing for the field goal there. I think they ran it on third down to try and get a more manageable fourth down to go for it. CJ just lost 4 yards on the draw on third down, so it was 4th and 14, and it's like, okay, well, now you got to kick it. I think they were hoping for it was 2nd and 10. The first one he ran it got nothing, so it was 3rd and 10. Ran it, lost 4 yards. I think he was hoping to run it again, get to 3rd and 6, 3rd and 5, or 4th and 6, 4th and 5, and go for it then. But he lost 4 yards on it, so at that point you had no choice but to kick it. So
you're actually So you're actually saying, Michael, that's actually kind of what I think a lot of State fans were saying, which is like, listen, you don't have a lot of confidence in this guy. So it seems like maybe Dorn was even trying to play the more aggressive route of actually trying to go for it eventually at fourth down if the opportunity came to it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, all play calls, it's like no play calls are designed to lose yards. So it's like, if they block it up better,
That's a
and
quote
even
right
if it's
there.
not a huge, right. If they block it up better and CJ, gets 3 or 4 yards, that's fine. And you're set up in a manageable fourth down and you can go for it at that point. But, it obviously didn't work out. I don't know. But I get the argument. The second down was an RPO and he ran it. So why are you going to have him run it again? Like, at least call a pass on third down. I can definitely see that.
All right, Greg, shut it down.
On both of the drives where we missed field goals, what was the first play on each of those drives?
I don't actually know.
Long ass passes.
Oh yeah. The one to Grimes, then the one
Mhm.
to Hoffman. Yes.
Yeah,
So if
first
you're
down.
telling me you're playing conservative, and for those listening at home, that's air quotations, you don't do those plays first down. Like,
But you're settling for the field goal, Greg. You're settling
again,
for the field goal.
if you hit those, it's not conservative anymore, right? Because again, that's 6 points. The game is out of reach. If you make one of those 2 field goals, the game is out of reach.
It's 2
at that
scores,
point.
yeah.
It's 2 scores,
score
correct.
game. Yeah.
So like, can you make the argument, and to Michael's point, you don't run a play to be quote unquote losing yards or being conservative. I just think that we just didn't have the right reads and we just didn't execute the plays. Yeah. At the end of the day, and which one was it? I think, was it the first one where we had the missed? Yeah, on the first one, the CJ Bailey pass incomplete to Terrell Anderson. That's the targeting.
That was
so
the targeting one. Yeah.
If you hit one of those on that first missed field goal, you're first and goal.
Right.
You're first and goal.
Yep.
And so
right.
that's
I mean, if Anderson catches that, obviously it's a touchdown. But if they call a penalty, you've got first. Yeah, like you said, you got first.
And then you're probably, even if you don't score a touchdown, you're probably not missing that field goal.
Right.
Again,
Yeah,
not making excuses for this, but I just don't feel like we were quote unquote conservative this game. I just don't. I can see where you can make the argument, but I thought we were aggressive more than we weren't. And then at the conversely, I don't know in those situations where you necessarily want to put the ball in the air and have the potential for an interception. Like, to me, you can call that conservative, but it's also being a little bit taking that risk out, right? You run your analytics, and it's like that's a horrible place to throw an interception potentially. And so I think you feel better with ball control, and taking away some of those negative potential plays.
Yep. Yeah, fair.
Yeah, I just don't think we saw the same issues we saw last year. We went up tempo, and that was more in the first quarter when we built the lead. Obviously, when you get a lead, you're not going to go as up tempo because you want to run the clock. But second quarter, we were going no huddle. We were going up tempo. Your receivers were that rotation, and your skill players. Like, I think only Duke Scott and Hollywood got carries. Receivers was only the 5, the 4 we were expecting.
Pretty much.
And then, like Greg said, I mean, we were up 24-7 and throwing 40-yard passes on first down. Like, yeah.
I mean,
I think
when
there
have
are
you seen that?
Yes, I think there were definitely individual play calls, like we talked about. That third down run, I don't think was the best play call for sure. But I think overall, the strategy was much more aggressive than we saw last year.
Well, and you go ahead, Leighton. Go ahead. And
well, just Michael. Andy says there's no way Dave Dorn was going for it on fourth and 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, it's quite possible.
I mean, we'll
never know at this point.
He could have kicked it again. Yeah, he could have kicked it again. But
I think some of the things that I think the one thing that you can say about coaching was, I think on one of ECU's possessions, I think it was their touchdown, and I can't remember. Maybe it was the last touchdown they had. We had a lot of second string guys in.
We got caught because they didn't sub. They didn't sub so fast.
Yeah,
we couldn't get our starters back in. Yeah.
So I would have maybe called a timeout to kind of slow the momentum of that drive. That would be
Did we talk about? Did you guys talk about the first touchdown?
the debacle.
Yeah,
the box.
I mean,
yeah.
that's
So
bad.
that's the
Dorn's
second.
got a call time out there. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got a call time out there.
Yeah. So like again, was it a perfect game? No, but we won. We won by 7. Like, could we have covered? By the way, when was the last time we covered as a favorite? I feel like that's been a hot minute. Like,
probably Stanford last year.
Yeah, probably. You're right. Yeah, that's probably. We kicked the crap out of them.
Yes, we did.
But again, you know, at the end of the day, I don't really care about that. I just want to win ball games. I don't care how pretty or ugly it is.
You're also only going to cover about 50% of the time because that's just how it works. That's how Vegas sets the line so that they win 50% of the time.
Yeah. They minimize their damage.
Right.
That's right. Yep. But definitely stay tuned, y'all. We'll definitely do probably another live show this week to preview the UVA matchup later this week here. But right now, Mississippi State sits as a 2.5-point favorite for Saturday afternoon's game.
Yeah.
So
talk about that. That scares me a little bit. That's closer than I was expecting.
UVA, I mean, they've got some offensive talent. I mean, they've done a nice job in the portal. It will be interesting to see if that line moves in our direction, and that'll tell you what's going on with their quarterback situation.
Yeah. That line indicates he would be playing this week.
Agreed.
Yep.
And that's essentially a pick'em game because you get a couple points just for being a home team.
Yeah, neutral field is probably even.
Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. So with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, and make sure you do not miss out on that live stream. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to hit that like button. We would really, really appreciate that. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to us, please do us a big favor as well. Leave us a 5-star review. We greatly appreciate that as well. It really helps us out a ton. And make sure if you haven't already, make sure to give us a follow. Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, y'all. But with that being said, we'll talk to y'all soon. And hey, we're sitting here, y'all. 1-0, baby, and we're not Alabama fans. So
and UNC is down 17-7 at halftime.
Yeah, let's go. I love it. And hey, just ESPN's, is just begging right now. Please, Belichick, please come back and win this game, please. We need to talk about you this week, please. So anyway, with that being said, Wolfpack Nation, we'll see y'all soon. And as always, go Pack, y'all.